Hello everybody, welcome to, oh my god, a video I am really looking forward to doing with you guys. Today is the day in chapter 5 that we get to see the conclusion of, so many stories. We've already done all the long complicated Mien stuff, we've seen what it's like when we kind of mess up and we don't look too well. And from now on, okay, we've got like several episodes of just like cutscenes of pure satisfaction and happiness coming up. And you'll notice something very cool happened there as well when I loaded onto the airship destination list. We've already done Maechen High Road, so that's done. We've got episode complete there. The Chocobo's back on the high road and running free. We will be returning to the high road later, don't worry. It's kind of like we have to do 2 passes. But what you will have noticed, that the Calmlands just became a hotspot. Why? Well, because off screen, between the 2 episodes, I actually match made to everybody on the Maechen High Road, which gave us just enough points to max out the publicity minigame, and now the Calmlands is completely finished. This is the fastest I have ever done the Calmlands on any playthrough ever that I've done this game, which is really cool. We'll finish that off later though. I want to start today at the Zanarkand ruins because I showed you in the last episode what it looks like when you kind of don't do anything. You'll see we're 88% complete with the game already, and this is probably one of my favorite scenes of the game, and the conclusion of a mystery that I set up, not in X-2, but way back in X for you guys. So, a place of memories. This was a special place for you, wasn't it? Want to go take another look before the final battle? Absolutely we do, so let's go on in. So, we were just at the Mien High Road last episode. I want to just do a bit of a segue here for you guys. When we first reached the Mien High Road in 10, I said to you guys that the game was introducing a bunch of characters to us now. There were loads of new characters when you hit the Mien High Road. But I said many of the characters we were meeting all had a common thing among them. Okay? And I said it will be a long time before we ever figure out what that is. And we will find that out in this episode. It's going to be really good. So this time when we load in, we actually get a cutscene. Before, there were just tourists here, and that was kind of it. We met Asari here.
It's finally quieted down, huh?
Monkeys everywhere! Well, there you go, you got what you wanted.
Well, I guess your memories are finally safe, Yuna.
Yeah. But
I
have to learn to be stronger. Even places full of memories. Even a place like this can't last forever. I need to accept that.
It's been here for 1,000 years, lady.
You want to not care.
That's not what I'm saying.
Just be yourself.
I guess. Yeah, you're right. Perhaps one day, I'll find something more precious. But until that day comes, I want to protect this place.
Riku noticed her looking. And Pain.
The monkeys can't do it alone.
Do you see something?
Maybe.
Oh man, it's so cool. They put so much emphasis on that spot that Tidus did. And here's the thing, the very start of 10, what were we looking at, right? Before you even load, you might think, it was Zanarkand and us playing Blitzball at Zanarkand and so on, but it wasn't. It was Tidus stood on this thing before you even get to like load or start the first new game. The cutscene that loaded in 10 at the start of the game was this thing. And the entire context of 10 was the night that our adventuring band had this campfire. Tidus was retelling his story. That was the night he was stood there. And so I love how much focus they put there. And there's no tourist this time saying it's my spot. Now here, after the cutscene, that's episode complete. Episode complete there, for what it's worth, did not kick us to the airship. That's why if you leave Zanarkand for last in chapter 5, it can bug and you won't get the final class of the game for getting episode complete everywhere. So we're starting. We're basically going to do sort of like a reverse pilgrimage here. But a bonus thing as well that will appear is Maechen's here. Maechen will only be here if you met him in Guado Salam in chapter 3 as well. We could also have met him in chapter 1, which also has a payoff here as well. Remember in chapter 1, he went on and on and on and on and on, and eventually we shook his hand, and he was a little bit weird when we shook his hand. This is the scene that gets the payoff of that, finally. And this is really cool. So, hey Maechen, how's it going?
Ah, the Lady Yuna. Would you like to hear about Vegnagun?
Vegnagun? What? Wait, how do you know about Vegnagun? I mean, he's known about so much stuff, but this is the first time it's like, is that really plausible? All right, well, whatever. Okay, fine. You know about Vegnagun. Yes, please. Tell us. Get ready for a fields trip, guys.
Although Vegnagun was constructed during the Maechen War, there is no record of it ever being used. One could argue that the coming of sin made war a secondary concern. But the real reason was that Vegnagun was nothing short of a titanic failure.
How so?
You see, it was quick to respond to hostility, but lacked the ability to discern friend from foe.
Oh.
A weapon that slaughters indiscriminately would be far too dangerous for actual use in combat. Incidentally, this is why Vegnagun was never considered as a measure to combat sin. Instead, it was locked away under Bevelle.
Jeez, Gramps, you really know a lot.
Where'd you learn all that?
Good question, Payne.
That would be...
That would be...
Well, this should explain things.
He's unsent!
Gramps, you're dead?
Mortifying, isn't it? Over the years, I managed to completely forget that I am unsent. It was only when I shook your hand, Lady Yuna, that I remembered.
Wow, how?
Why?
1,000 years ago, here in Zanarkand, I shook the hand of another young lady.
1,000 years.
1,000 years long unsent. That's an old unsent.
It was Len.
Correct. It was quite a strange feeling shaking your hand. Two different people from two distant times with exactly the same handshake.
You've met a lot of people, huh?
Yes, my child. Many meetings and just as many partings.
Man, like Titus, right?
The many people I have known have all journeyed to the far plane, leaving only me behind.
Oh.
'Tis quite lonely.
Gramps?
I love the Lonely Immortal kind of story. Check it out back there! It's young Aura in Nebraska.
Father?
Do forgive me. My memories seem to have a mind of their own.
So people really are connected.
But of course.
Well, Maechen, thank you. I hope we meet again.
As do I.
And he's gone. He's gone. That's it. That's the end of Maechen. There's so much I can comment on there. All right, remember that in the previous game as well, Zanarkand was already shown through all the Fireflies. I mean, it's crazy. We're surrounded by it, swarmed by unsent almost right now. Live stream if you adhere to the FF7 stuff. But the previous game already demonstrated that you could kind of see other people around, right? Like, especially when you got into the dome. So that's so cool. I love that the first thing Yuna exclaims though is father, right? Like they could have been like, oh, what's Jecht doing here? Or Oren or something like that, which is probably more recognizable characters perhaps to your average player. But no, Yuna sees her father straight away and she exclaims about it. And Maechen talking about everyone being connected. And he totally says, but of course, it's got something to do with Titus and that clear vision we saw of something that wasn't Shuyin in the previous chapter when we press X in the cutscene. It's so cool. I love the fact that he's 1,000-year-old immortal as well, right? And like he never, unsent, sorry, and he never became a fiend. Never once. Like he just forgot. How crazy is that? So, let's rewind the clock. Okay, so right now you'll notice Isaru isn't here in Zanarkand either, unlike on our other file. That's kind of a separate story based on different comm spheres that we watched in Chapter 4. But in the previous game, around the point of the Mien High Road, I said to you guys, there are a lot of characters we're going to meet, and they all have like a common secret. They all share a common secret. And that secret is that they were unsent. There are 3 unsent. The idea of even knowing of the existence of unsents at that point in the story doesn't even exist. So here it says, it looks like Isaru really closed the dome. I just wanted to show you guys that. Would you like to go back to the sphere? So we're going to go back. At that point in 10's story, the idea of an unsent isn't even really a thing. We've just learned about sending in Kilika, then you go to Luca, and the idea of unsent comes a little bit later. But they introduce 3 characters, all right? Number 1 is Auron in Luca, of course, an unsent. Straight away as well, you meet Belinda, an unsent. And at that same time on the Mien High Road, you meet Maechen, an unsent. And I believe when I threw that hint out to you guys a year ago, we were stood in front of Maechen, as I said it. I'm pretty sure. But there you go. That is the end of Zanarkand. That's this conclusion, well, completion of this story. The monkeys reclaim the place. To be honest, I think having these swarming monkeys everywhere that, as I say, defile the place indiscriminately is probably worse than tourists and someone like Asaru trying to protect it. But hey, whatever. That's what the game wanted us to do. I always thought he was a little loose with his words, but he was right. Everything really is connected, sorry. So I think what Payne's saying there is in reference to her saying, don't give out false hope in the previous chapter. Riku says, don't worry, Uni. One day he'll be back with more stories. Maechen, you mean, right? Ah, it's crazy. I mean, it's a cool hint there. So there you go. Good stuff to get it started there with Zanarkand, and that is the end of Maechen. And as you can see here, episode complete. The tourists are gone. Those monkeys did a pretty good job protecting the place. Not bad, monkeys. How? Well, we shall see. So what are we going to do now? You might think, oh, let's go to Mount Karagazet straight away. Actually, since we mentioned Isaru, let's go to Bevelle. Pray to Barrel still missing, but it looks like New Yevon's remaining party members are holding the party together. And let's see what happens now that Isaru isn't in Zanarkand, after we talked to him so much in the comm spheres about where he was going with his life. Don't forget that this is also a Youth League file. But actually, it doesn't mean anything what affiliation you picked back then at this point in the story for Bevelle. So finally on this file, this is the first time we've been able to do this. People have calmed down somewhat thanks to you, Lady Unit. It seems no one knows what we should do next. I give thanks. My only duty is to operate this lift. Will you be taking a ride? Absolutely. For the first time on a Youth League file, you can take the lift. I believe. You couldn't do it any time before. There we go. I always found it kind of funny that you have to sit through the animation and the stopping and the conversation with the character for that lift to be worthwhile speed-wise, and it sort of is. Here's the guy that shot the comm sphere. Even if New Yevon falls apart, Bevelle will always be my home. Brilliant. They're all going to have the same dialogue. So what we're going to do is just trigger the cutscene and see how things are different now. And it's pretty cool. Hey, Maroda, he's here again.
Hey.
Hi, Maroda. Aren't you a member of the Youth League? What are you doing in front of New Yevon?
Different motivation this time?
I've been asking myself the same question. Look.
Ah, he's here! Welcome, Isaru.
My brother heard that Bevelle was a mess and came all the way from Zanarkand.
He heard from us.
Hey, he can do what he wants, but what I want to know is, how did I get dragged into this?
You're protecting Bevelle together.
Yeah, I guess that's about right. Somebody's got to watch his back.
Hey, what you talking about?
We're talking about how brothers have to stick together.
Oh, okay. See you later.
Ah, that's a different...
Kindergardians, move!
We still get a ton of Kindergardians, of course. They need to multiply. Even on both files. I love the idea that this only happens on the bad file. Like, somehow it's a bad thing that all the kids decide to become sphere hunters or something. Like, that's a negative outcome.
They're turning into a regular Kindercore.
Oh!
Well, at least they're having fun.
Maybe fun is all this world really needs.
Isaru's changed too, huh?
Him? He'll never change. He goes around playing superhero and leaves us with all the headaches.
Hey, I know someone like that.
Oh, God.
Oh, someone who goes around playing superhero, is it?
You mean brother?
Wrong.
Buddy?
Nope.
Well, Riku, why don't we get going?
Yep, sounds good.
I like the idea of Buddy being the goody two-shoes. He's not just trying to get money.
Come on, tell me who.
Oh, Yuna, you oblivious lady. Oh, I love these screens, guys. These episode completes. Oh, it feels so good. We get the Scourgebane garment grid. We get a lot of really cool garment grids here as well, by the way. A lot of really cool garment grids. And this is going to kick us straight back to the airship. We will return to Bevelle a little bit later. One of the best things in all of Chapter 5, and indeed most memorable things of the entire game, takes place when you return there now. But we're going to leave that for now. We're just going to get our episode completes. Oh, I'm so happy with it. Because when I was younger, there were so many places that I'd missed the episode completes. I never got the final class. The final class for having all of them. when I was younger. Never did her. Like, I'd get different, no matter the playthrough, different mixes and matches. And in all my test files and stuff, I've not done it until this point, until like this week of the LP. And it feels so good. All right, hey, Pain. Go on, pretend you don't know, but Riku and I can see right through you. You need to spend more time getting to know... Wait, what was that? I don't know. Anyway, so that's Bevelle. We'll put a pin in that for now. No really good segue to the next one I want to go to, but I do want to go to the Thunder Plains. We never came here on the Chaos World at all because, hell, really, there's no difference. If you remember, I already mentioned this. The Lightning Rod Towers, it doesn't matter whether you calibrate them or not. It just depends on the rewards you get in Chapter 5, which I'll show you now. So, Shinra Goofed, it's called? Yo, Shinra, your brilliant inventions turned the Thunder Plains into Fiend Central. Man. I wonder who that is that's supposed to be saying that. Is it Buddy? Do you think that's Buddy's dialogue? It would have been nice if it was more explicitly Buddy's dialogue, but hey, whatever. I'm just trying to get comfy in the chair at the moment. I really want to sit in for this. And this, we're actually going to get some fights. We haven't done any for a while. Hey, what's up?
Sphere waves scattered during the concert caused fiends endemic to this region to rampage.
So, in other words, your sphere screen is to blame.
Find a sphere and the fiends appear?
That's what she said at the start. It's true. That's a quote. So, this is one of the rare places where it's just like there's a straight up like mission. There's like some sort of chaos going on somewhere. It's very, very rare. It's a bit of an outlier. In fact, I predict we have very little battles to do. Like, just lots of cutscenes still. So, a fallen genius. Frenzy fiends are feeding off the energy stored in the Lightning Rod Towers. Destroy every last one of the fiends clinging to the towers. So, you see how it says they're feeding off the energy stored in the towers? If you calibrate all the towers, the more you calibrate, when you kill these fiends, they're going to drop chests. And the chests have better stuff in them. So, I don't know. I guess it kind of all worms its way out that way. So, we got some of these chimeras to fight. However, I want to show you guys the setup I've got for the girls. I did something really cool. And I think you guys will really appreciate what we've got going on here. So, we still have Riku as the magic attacker, Pain as the physical attacker, and Yuna as the tanky character, okay? But I've done some different things. Because obviously, we've got quite a few classes. So, first of all, let's have a look at Yuna. Yuna now has a dedicated grid to support her idea of like a tanky character at all times. She's got 2 mithril bangles equipped, which increase her health by a lot, okay? So she's got way more health than the other 2 girls. But what's really cool is her garment grid. Now, she's on Samurai's Honor. I decided that instead of having Pain be the Samurai, because she's already got like a lot of classes that we want to see a lot of anyway, I thought I'd make Yuna the Samurai instead, because we've already seen Yuna running that. So Yuna's the Samurai, and what's really cool about this is her grid is dedicated with all of the classes we've assigned to her throughout the series. So check it out. These are Yuna's classes. She is a White Mage, a Gunner, a Psychic, a Samurai, and a Songstress. And you'll notice that there is one last slot available there. And that slot is going to be the final class of the game, which we'll talk about when we get to it. You might wonder, well, Wooden Potatoes, why are you using a garment grid that gives you Bushido ability, samurai stuff, and also equipping a samurai slot on there? Do you see that? Isn't that, a terrible idea? Well, no, because by equipping the grid, all it really lets you do is get Bushido abilities and then eventually cast Bushido stuff quicker if you go through all the gates. It doesn't actually allow you to use Samurai stuff that isn't Bushido, and it doesn't give you the stat spread that Samurai gives you when you have it equipped. Does that all make sense? So it is still worth having Samurai on the grid itself, all right? So that's perfect. That's all of Yuna's classes. And in any battle, I can swap her to anything she's good at, anything we've seen so far. I've started her off by default as White Mage, which we've seen so little of in the series. It was the first class we got, and she's got basically no abilities, but we'll learn them as the next couple of episodes go. So that's Yuna, Tanky, White Mage, all of her classes. Same setup for Riku. So Riku is offensive. Now, she's got the Crystal Ball, which is magic plus 50, and the Pixie Dust, which is magic plus 40. I could go crazy with this, and we could put Ring on her, which is auto haste and all that other crazy stuff. We could put Minerva's Plate on her, which was one of the really hidden things we got from Macalania Woods, remember? But gives her, like, pointless, and we could do that in the future. Well, screw it. Let's just do Minerva's Plate for now. All right. That'll be cool. Let's go Minerva's Plate and Ring. Let's just show how insane Riku can go. And then for her classes, her garment grid is the Black Mage one, so she can always use Black Magic. And then for her classes, she's got Alchemist on there. She's got Festivalist on there. She's got Trainer on there. She's got Thief on there. And then Black Mage with a slot for the final class. Let's fully mage her out here. Riku is going to devastate right now, but she's got basically no health. And then lastly, we got Pain. Pain is the physical attacker. She has the Power Gloves as, increased strength. Her garment grid is the warrior one, so she can always use warrior stuff. And then her classes are Dark Knight, Berserker, Trainer as well, because she gets different skills to Riku, Gun Mage, and then Warrior, with a slot for the final class. So we're going to start her off on Dark Knight now, because we haven't seen too much of it. Now, here's something really cool. Dark Knight has a cost of health on a lot of its abilities, like you sacrifice health. It's got an amazing synergy with Ragnarok, which we got in a previous episode. Remember, this is what we got for pinning Riku on the Mien High Road mystery. This new thing, which gave us MP cost to 0 during battle. Secretly, though, this also means that the Dark Knight doesn't sacrifice health anymore when using abilities. So the Ragnarok Dark Knight combo is insane. It is absolutely fantastic. And Payne's pretty badass gear right there. And she's going to replace her power gloves in just a couple of episodes, maybe soon anyway. When we get to Guado Salam, she'll replace that. So that's the girls. That is actually, guys, across the 3 girls, every single class in the game. Every class in the game, perfectly, immaculately set up on these kind of generic little garment grids. Chapter 5 is going to give us a lot of really cool garment grids for what it's worth, which we'll talk about. So I just wanted to set up this cool spread here. Oh, what a cool setup! I don't know how much you guys will care about the theory craft and stuff like that, but I wanted to have it in there because it's one of the more fun things about the game to me. But here we go. So we got a Chimera battle, and we've got an insane Riku right now, okay? Riku has everything for, like, the casting, except one of the things. All she can do is Black Magic, sorry. We're going to cast Fire Arga. She's going to cast it basically instantly, and she's going to Nitro. Oh, it didn't Nitro. That's a shame. Okay, well, that's fine. Yuna's going to heal up Pain, because she's got basically no health. Pain is going to cast, if she's going to go to Arcana, okay, and... Oh, she hasn't got... Alright, basically Dark Knight's going to get an ability later that allows her to generically sacrifice health to improve her damage, but she doesn't have that just yet. I'm surprised Riku's not as deadly as I thought she was. She can cast super quick though, look at that, that's insane. So we'll just let her go mad. Oh my god, that's actually crazy. Lulu, when Lulu had these accessories on, she would like quadra-cast or 8-tuple cast stuff, which was insane. Yuna needs to be a little bit better as a white mage here, but she's got so many friggin' abilities to unlock. In fact, okay, that's fine. All right, let's just have sorry, Jesus, Pain start attacking there because she's not done anything yet. There you go. There's 700 damage, and down it goes. Very cool. So when these girls start learning some more abilities, you'll see that they really start improving. Pain's gonna get basically here. We'll start this straight away actually. Well, we actually have some fights available. Pain. Sorry. Abilities, Pain, and then Dark Knight. And what we want her to do is not learn Break, but to learn Cheiron. So Cheiron is sacrifice life to heavily damage one enemy. She hasn't learned it yet. We haven't seen it in the show yet. But once we're done with that, she's going to combo that with Ragnarok, and it's going to be incredible. All right, cool. So we kill this mob, and we get a chest. And that chest gives us an elixir, which is pretty good. Why did we get an elixir for that? Well, we got an elixir because I did, in the end, calibrate pretty much all the towers. I only messed up on 2 of them. There were only 2 I never managed to at all. So we're going to get pretty good stuff regardless. But there's all these monsters, so we'll go again. Some of these fights I might even cut out. But again, we might not even see too many like random battles over the coming days.
Well.
Heartless attack. That's crazy. It just puts someone to 1 health instantly. All right, well, we'll just do that. And we'll just spam A. We're just going to spam A and see how we go. Here we go. These Fire Argas might be doing less damage. I mean, they look kind of fiery, but I doubt he's taking like half damage or something. We're just spamming Cures on Pain, who apparently is taking all the hits. Unless maybe this goes somewhere else. I mean, Riku is not going to survive very comfortably. Okay, Pain's dead. Yuna would do a little bit better with, like, life or something. But, hey. She'll learn it in time. As long as they're actually using abilities at every battle. In fact, we might want to set Pain to, instead of physically attacking, like auto attacks, to instead cast, like, the AoE health drain thing. Because it really doesn't come at a cost to her anymore, except the cast time. There we go. Unfortunately, she's getting focused down a little bit. These, I believe, are the same mobs that we saw when we were unlocking the Berserker dress sphere in Chapter 3 at Macalania. But they were kind of easy back then. On my second file, they were super difficult. Super difficult. It seems to just be the same mob every time. A little bit lazy, actually, I would say. All right, Heartless attack on Riku this time. Let's try Blizzarga instead. See if it does more damage. Oh, it does way more damage. Okay. All right, so we can kill him a lot quicker. Look at how short her cast time is there. And 2 hits. Okay, that's much better. That's insane. That was kind of scary for Riku there as well, because she gets auto-poison from Ring, which means that 1 health, if we didn't end that quickly, she would have died. We got Watery Gleam there, that thing we bought from the Besage shop so long ago. But here, I'll show you guys something. On my other file, on the Chaos World file, Riku actually had more Black Mage stuff done. I had to grind it higher. So all the way down here, you'll see... Oh, God. Okay, hold on. Well, down at the bottom, after you learn Focus, I suppose. We'll learn Focus first instead of Thunder. What she's going to get is Black Magic level 2 here, and then Black Magic level 3. And Black Magic level 2 and level 3 reduce her cast time. So right now, you see she's got that tiny little bar just because of her experience, right? Just because of her her accessories, which means she doesn't need to spend very long to cast Black Magic. Once she learns Black Magic level 2 and level 3, she's basically just going to be able to go Black Magic, Black Magic, Black Magic, like just constantly. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. All right, but so this time, now that we've got the Blizzard attacks, we should be able to get in a lot of attacks before he can even get in one. I mean, hell, if Yuna wasn't White Mage here, she'd be able to do better. But we'll keep her on the defensive for now. It's not like we have to end the fight super, super, super fast. Poor Riku's dead, but I actually don't mind that she's dead because, yeah, we'll just do that. I don't mind that she's dead because she's got Pointless on anyway, so it's not like she'd give it experience for the end of the battle. And I knew that the mob was low on health. So some of the other White Mage things you're seeing that Yuna's got, she's got Vigor. Each of these chests she's seeing get better and better. We had a Mega Elixir there. There's a Champion Belt. I actually don't know what that does. I would expect it does both strength and, oh my god, strength and defense by plus 40. You remember at the very start of the game, by beating the LeBlanc Syndicate to the top of the mountain, you got a really weak version of that. You got basically, there you go, Muscle Belt from the start, and now we get the Champion Belt. That's pretty cool. Then we get a Regal Crown. I wonder what that does. A lot of these I don't even know what they do. It's kind of interesting. Regal Crown. And actually, I don't think that appeared on my loot list for my guide. It could be that International has slightly different loot here, maybe. Some of you guys know quite comfortably what the difference is because you're playing regular version or whatever right now. So maybe you guys can talk about that. There you go, Regal Crown. That's our first one. Oh, that's the magic equivalent. That's really cool. Actually, so Yuna can use that. Yes, fine. You can use that because it's magic defense as well as magic. I'll take a health cut for that. All right, instead of going to the agency, oh, and we got a ring there. Don't worry, I'm sure it wasn't anything crazy. Got the agency. We'll ignore that for now. This again, guys, is where we could get the second ribbon of the game. The second of only 2 from the original version of the game. You could only get 1 in Bevelle and then 1 here for doing all the towers. But we're not going to get that ribbon because we didn't do all the towers. However, we can get more from the Monster Arena should we ever care about that. Don't forget as well, guys, I think I've mentioned this in a grand total of 1 episode throughout the entire series. You can feed gear to mobs. So like the Minerva's Plate and all that stuff, you can feed that. You know, this ultra rare one-of-a-kind mob item, you can feed it to like a Fiend in your party to buff its stats permanently or teach it a certain ability and things like that. You can do that. It's just that, you know, it's incredibly wasteful. It's a similar feature to what we saw in 8, Final Fantasy 8. And actually, quite a few of the other ones, to be honest. But so that's why they kind of allow you to get so many from the Monster Arena, as long as you're good at the tournaments. There we get the Electrocutioner. We actually have seen one of those before. You can see Riku's ultra squishiness maybe isn't too good right now, but whatever. Only takes a couple of regular potions to heal her up instead of high potions. I really like the balance of some of this stuff. How we start moving into the gold gear. And a lot of the gold gear, it's like, all right, this gives you this extremely good thing, but also cuts away a load of your health. Or it gives you a load of defense, but cuts away a load of your speed and stuff. Oh, and actually, oh my god, I can mention this to you guys now. One of the Fiend tales that I've done, guys, I don't know whether they've been in the videos yet. They might start appearing. Is like this whole chain of Fiend tales. It's like whole story, one thing into the next, into the next, into the next. It's really cool, but it concludes with a thing that shows Maechen, and it blatantly and obviously expresses Maechen as a fiend, as an unsent. And so back in like chapter 1, I did this whole Fiend tale thing that I was showing you guys. Cerulean ring, that's kind of cool. I did this whole thing, all right? And I was like, oh, people are going to love this. This is so cool. This is awesome. And then in the end, friggin' Maechen appears and it's like this huge spoiler. I'm like, oh, I can't show it till chapter 5 then. That sucks. Ah, it was so annoying. And now I can actually talk about it, which is fantastic. Where's the Cerulean ring? Here you go. Converts water damage to health. User can cast Water Arga. That may sound really good. That's like the next tier up of the blue ring then, I guess. But we're going to see something that completely blows that out of the water very soon. Mind you, the being able to cast the higher tier water spell's pretty nice. But yeah, the cool thing about that Fiend tail as well was it gave me one of these gold bits of gear. So far in the series, you guys have seen every single bit of gold gear and how to get it. You saw ribbon, you saw ring, you saw bloodlust, you saw the Minerva's plate. You've seen all of that stuff. Look at that on the back of a chain there. That was amazing. Oh, she's out of MP. Wow. You've seen all of them, but there has been one hanging around in my inventory, and you guys might have noticed it and thought, what is that? I haven't heard of that. You might have seen it. It's something called adamantite. Now, adamantite, what it does is this thing I just mentioned, that it massively boosts your defense. I'll show you after the spell. Hit it. We'll pick up this chest as well and see what we get from this one. It's just a crazy loot fest. Freezer burn, that's going to be fire and ice at the same time. But here, if you have a look, adamantite should appear among all of our gold accessories down here, right? So Enterprise, we've got the airship and so on. But adamantite here, this one, this is from the thing with Maechen that gets spoiled. But as you can see, look at what it does to your defense. It buffs defense massively. Yuna goes from 13 defense to 133. She has 255 magic defense with that on. Look at her health as well. It buffs her health up massively. It's crazy. That's a health boost, even though she's taken off a 60% health increase mithril bangle to put it on. It's still a health boost. It's huge. And it gives you auto wall. Look over there. Auto abilities, auto wall. That's auto shell and protect. That's like insane. That's almost like making her invincible. But is miserably heavy, see? And the downside is you only get 22 agility, so she basically never gets a turn. In the capacity of a healer, it's not a very good idea. But so that's adamantite. I haven't been able to talk about it for videos and videos and videos, but I finally can now. And oh my god, that makes me so happy. Finally, the gazebo style one over there doesn't actually quite count as a lightning rod tower, so we've only got one more over here. But, you know, it's kind of cool. I like it. You can give them proper builds that have downsides in certain perspectives. Maybe you want to try and counterbalance that and put her on Thief. Maybe you put someone on Warrior wearing Adamantite, and then you run Sentinel. Remember this thing that means you only take 1 damage or something? Or you taunt people. I don't know. Try and get thing. So here is what is White Mage. You get not only White Magic, but you also get Prey and Vigor. So this is global health for the party. So we'll do that since obviously everybody just got multicast hit. While Riku Blizzagas, Yuna's at only 1 health, but that was a big chain strike there. She can pray again, I suppose.
What's wrong, cold feet?
And hopefully Riku and Pain will kill it now. There you go. Very nice. Riku's a great black mage, by the way, guys. Don't just put Pain on the black mage. Riku's got so many cool lines.
The lightning isn't stopping.
Let's look around some.
What possibly could be the problem if the lightning isn't stopping? Huh. Well, we now have a marker. This is where we get the ribbon. This time we get Sublimator. So actually, I don't think the loot changed in International because Sublimator was what I was expecting to get. So the Sublimator here, there's actually a few places. This is going to convert both fire and ice damage to HP. You might wonder where we're getting all these elemental things here. But there's actually some extra stuff that's going to go on at down at the Thunder Plains very soon. You might think that we've already seen, you know, in Chapter 4, we unlocked an extra dungeon here. That is not the only extra dungeon you can unlock. And I have already had quite a few people messaging me saying, Wooden Potatoes, I'm looking forward to when you do the bonus Chapter 5 Thunder Plains dungeon. That's going to be really cool. It's like a bonus thing. And I'm not a good man at maths, let me just say. So this is going to be a fun part of the chapter when we eventually...
We still haven't checked that tower.
Want to take a look?
Ah, the last tower, the one that Yuna had to reverse input commands. Let's check it out. Uh-oh. It's a Behemoth King.
Yuna!
Bring it, beefsteak.
Okay, so in this episode, I told you guys a story about a chain of Fiend tales that all evolve into one another that ended with the spoiler of Maechen being an unsent. So how about we check those out? It's currently coming up at 3 in the morning while I'm editing here. So check it out. The Killer Hound. This was a Fiend tale from way back in Chapter 1. We got him from Zanarkand. And he's a wolf, and it says, analysis failed. Fiend has no life readings. And Shinra talks, he says, something's not right. There's a protect spell on this creature. It's preventing me from properly analyzing it. Approximate age, 1,000. How interesting. Ah, so it's like Maechen. Fiend has no life readings. I've analyzed the creature. There's a strange identification code on the back of its neck. It looks like a machine identification code. Continuing analysis. So what you guys are going to find is this is a cool story. It like chains into a lot of things because there's lots of fiends one after the other. Fiend has no readings. I've analyzed the code embedded in the creature. It's a soldier ID tag from the Bevelle elite forces from the Maechen War 1,000 years ago. The Bevelle military inserted machine chips into fiends and trained them to be soldiers. This creature has stayed hidden for over 1,000 years as a living remnant of the Maechen War. If you train it in the arena, I can analyze its memories. Exciting stuff. So you might have thought that this would have been a Zanarkand soldier or citizen who died. It's not. It's a fiend from Bevelle to fight those in Zanarkand. Kind of cool. And then we get the cool cutscene. Emergency! 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 The killer hound has escaped. Emergency! Emergency! The killer hound has escaped. I like to think these are all lots of little pickets. This is so cool seeing the arena in here. The killer hound has broken out of its cage, but the cage is sealed by magic that can't be broken by fiends. It should be impossible for them to escape. Imagine that if they did all flee out. It's kind of crazy that Shinra has made something so powerful. There is a machine chip embedded inside the Fiend, and it's possible the Fiend escaped the cage using machine powers. Incoming creature information. Unidentified creature reading at Zanarkand ruins. Unidentified Machina discovered. Incoming creature information. Reacting to the remaining Fiend soldiers of Bevelle. 1,000-year-old Zanarkand army Machina may have awakened. Uh-oh. It's connected. Something is happening to Spirit. So we're gonna get a full-on story here. Trap pod target area is the Zanarkand ruins. Trap pod target area is the Zanarkand ruins. So basically the fleeing of this wolf, we have a rare machine to catch, has triggered a bunch of Machina in Zanarkand. Now, it might not happen here, but actually I believe it proper comes up and says mission begin, right? And mission complete the first time you do that. So that's the first of 3 that ends up all tying into what we talked about earlier at the Thunder Plains and gives us the adamantite as a reward.